Welcome back to Universe X, and today we are going to talk a little bit about Battle Spirit Saga. As you guys may know, our next set is coming out in July, and I actually want to talk about green today because I am very excited for us to get another color. I'm very excited to talk about how it may interact with our current meta and just some general diving in discussion because that's what I like to do on this channel. So as per usual, if you'd like to support the channel in a very direct way here, all you gotta do is like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification button, and really get this discussion going. We're gonna have a lot of fun here. But if you also want to explore different corners of Universe X, you can go down in the description, hit that link tree, and see all sorts of stuff. There's other social medias, there's like the Twitch channel if you want to have a discount on sealed product for pre-order or buying now. You can go to Mystic TCG and get 5% off using my link or my code. Or if you like to just go on TCG Player and order singles right now, you can really help me out by using my link. So there's a little bit of kickback as well. So with that being said, let's actually kind of slide over into what we know about green and what we could potentially expect. So let's talk about what we already kind of know when it comes to green, and lots of this is going to be based off of Battle Spirits. And I do want to put a disclaimer: not everything that comes out in Battle Spirits will be a one-to-one translation. If you've followed Battle Spirits before, you already know that looking at Battle Spirits Saga, it is not a one-to-one, but some art is kind of tweaked and reused, and lots of effects are kind of consistent. So let's actually talk about this, okay? Green, right? The symbol, let's just talk about the strategy. The main strategy is using green, or in using green, is core generation and beatdown. Green spirits tend to have high BP for their cost, and along with that fact, that many green cards allow the player to gain extra cores. Green-based decks will have little problem in gaining early advantage. Thus, green is frequently used in rush tactics. That is, summoning swarms of spirits in order to defeat the opponent as quickly as possible. So yeah, get your shields ready if you don't already have them. Unlike red though, green is in essence non-destructive. Although both colors tend to overwhelm their opponents as quickly as possible, green is far more interested in combat than red. And what that means is that red has things like Burning Force, Volcanic Break, Seedworm, Nova, that just blow up things. Whereas green is going to be just bodies for the most part. And I believe some tapping effects like most of Bandai's other games, such as, well, I say most, but like One Piece. You've got, while red would previously use various spells to destroy opponent's spirits before they can do anything, green's lack of destructive spells and high BP spirits mean that green-based rush decks can simply have their spirits attack their opponents and don't need to worry about blocking. Green also features the ability High Speed. This is the one I'm most interested in. Spirits with this ability can be summoned during flash steps. For all you guys that were summoning Moonbow Dragon incorrectly, and you know who you are. You know who you are. If you were playing in the demo phase, plenty of people were like, oh, flash, that means I can play Moonbow Dragon and then block with it in the attack step. No. But if you really do like that vibe, high speed, if the keyword gets translated over, will be that sort of thing. And so I'm very interested to see when we start getting spoilers for the green starter deck as well as the green cards in the booster pack. But spirits with this ability can be summoned during flash steps, which can lead to good surprise defense. All in all, no matter on the attack or defensive side, green is always eager to have combat. So when it comes to effects, like I said before, not everything is a one-to-one translation. Some things are very similar, i.e. Imperial Thunder Dragon Seedworm. Some things have effects in Battle Spirit Saga that have nothing to do with the cards in Battle Spirit, such as Andromeda, the Galaxy Dragon. So when it comes to this, I decided to look up the two arts that we know for sure we're getting. One of them is on the booster box art and the other one is on the pack art. So real quick, let's just look at those effects. So I think one of them we could easily see in a set too, and the other one, I don't know about that one, Chief, but yeah, let's hop into it. So the first one is actually the art on the the booster box. You can see it right there, battling some dragon, maybe a star dragon, maybe some sort of other thing, don't know yet. But in Battle Spirits, its name is the Providence Houga? I think that's how you pronounce it, I'm sorry. But you can see it's the exact same art. It's a winged beast, vanity deity, and I believe vanity deities are empty void gods, I believe, because vanity kind of means the void, emptiness, vain, So I'm pretty sure this is void god, and it's actually going to be on the front of it. So maybe that's another void god dragon on this. Sorry, dive into speculation. But this effect is pretty cool. 3 levels, right? and it straight up just says Windstorm 3, and Windstorm is a keyword for your battle phase. Each time this spirit is blocked, your opponent exhausts the specified number of spirits they control. So to block this creature, they have to then block this spirit, they have to tap 3 of their own spirits. So when you lead off with this, you could potentially be opening up the floodgates for all the rest of your spirits, and that's awesome. And then during level 3, it says each time the spirit deals any damage to your opponent's life, you may remove 1 core from your reserve. In that case, refresh this spirit. So this is actually going to give you a reason to leave things in the reserve, but it's also going to force your opponent to block it in level 3. They have to block this card because they do not want you to untap it and then potentially have another chance to tap their things, deal damage, and that doesn't seem to be a once per turn. So this is actually a crazy beatdown card, and I can see this effect being a top end in set 2. It just seems very aligned with the power level of our current stuff. Gets stopped by Ice Shield, but also can potentially swing a game on its own, forces you into a weird situation of do I block it or not, things like that. Now, when it comes to this next card, this is the card that's on the front of the booster pack, the starter deck. So this next one, though, is actually the one that's going to be on the starter deck, and its name is ridiculous. It's Rooster 12 God King Gale Phoenix. Kind of boss name, but this is a God King winged beast, and this is what I can't see being the exact same effect. It just looks like it's doing too much. There are 2 different keywords on here, Seal and Soar, that we've never even had before. And I'm not saying that they can't introduce multiple keywords in the set, but it just sounds like a little information overload. But this thing says you can send a soul core from this spirit to your life, so it's healing. And then at the end of the battle, during Seal, Soar, at the end of the battle, by paying 1 cost, the spirit refreshes. And then you can block. Your opponent can block with exhausted spirits. So that's kind of wild. In level 2, for each God King / 10 Crown family spirit you control, this spirit gains 5k BP. So that's actually pretty cool. I think that's actually really neat, but I think that with the way these effects are laid out, this is the one where I would think would get the Andromeda treatment, where it does nothing remotely close to its Japanese counterpart because it just seems too far removed from what we're currently playing. And yeah, I think that's not a bad thing. But we can clearly see between the untaps, the forcing your opponent to tap down blockers if they do decide to put their hands up, green is going to be a very aggressive color, and that's probably going to be in line with its counterpart. So that being said, I know I am super excited. I cannot wait to play this color, and I want to talk a little bit more before I close, but real quick, I'm going to play the Mystic TCG advert just in case you are still looking for a place to pre-order your Battle Spirit Saga Set 2. They've got great selection, and on top of that, by using the code UNIXTCG, you can get 5% off of your boxes, your case, whatever you're buying on that transaction. So let it roll real quick. So let's talk about Mystic TCG, your one-stop shop for all your TCG needs. On the site, you can buy or pre-order plenty of sealed product for plenty of games. Just make sure though, if you're pre-ordering, to give it 3 to 4 months in advance to start looking, because sometimes the product is indeed hot, supply and demand, And then if you want to buy singles, go on tcgplayer.com. There's going to be a link in the description where you can buy for the best value. And if you want to sell cards or collections, you can message them on their Facebook site so you can get the best bang for your buck on any type of way you want to buy or sell cards. And then while you're at it, you can use the code UNIXTCG at checkout to get even more of a discount. So hey, what are you waiting for? Check out Mystic TCG today. And yeah, so now that you know the coolest place to get your cards, not just for Battle Spirits, but for any TCG, we are going to just real quick kind of talk about, I think, my initial things. If they're attacking multiple times, obviously they still fall into line of if your opponent sees 2-3 ice shields, you're just not going to get through with the normal strategy. But that's pretty much every deck in the game, so we can't really hate on that. The things that I think are going to interact pretty nicely is against white, since so far all of the white staple cards that go super ham, like the Enterprise, yeah, it's just pretty much Enterprise right now. Some of the cards that get a little bit stronger later, they don't have protection versus green because green isn't a color yet. So there are going to be some cards that you'll be able to really mise versus white, cards that we consider staple right now. When you're looking at Elk, and Elk is like so used to being able to block and then defend itself, bar a couple cards. Even with Enterprise on the field, you can tap Enterprise and Elk and then just start swinging. If they don't have Ice Shield, they don't have Ice Shield. They will need to have Suppression to be able to block you while they are tapped. So that might change the structure of how white decks are going to have to build in order to continue to survive. Past that, you also have versus red, which has a lot of destruction and whatnot, but now you're gonna probably have to sequence better. Like normally you do swing with Nova Seaworm Nova before you end up swinging with the rest of your things, because the destruction will allow you to clear blockers and whatnot, potentially pesky things. However, now you definitely don't have an option, because if you swing with something else and they tap your Seaworm with a card that may tap, because I believe that is another thing. Like we saw Windstorm. I'm sure that Bandai games, they tend to shuffle certain effects to be a color between different games. One Piece has a lot of tapping in green. I don't see why Battle Spirits would be any different. So if they have effects like that, I think that could be something that you really have to play around with. Sequencing will be a lot more important when your opponent can flash step tap you. On top of that, yellow actually might be a secret Mise, because yellow is the only color. I mean, Refresh does do things. Refresh and Royal Potion should be able to play around certain gimmicks that green can call their defense during the attack step. So we will see. I, for one, am very, very excited. I want to know your comments. I want to know how you guys feel about green coming to the game, and if you're hyped based off of the things I've shown in this video today. That being said, thank you guys for watching this video. I just have a quick call to arms. If you guys like the channel and you want to help support it, anytime I put up a video, even if it's of a game you don't like, maybe just go over there and put a like down, you know? If you want to go the extra mile, mute it and put it on the background so it gets that runtime. Either way, I just am trying to trend with everything and really make the content that can reach as many people as possible that love these games, and I cannot wait to see you guys in the next video in the future. Still planning what I want to do for my first Battle Spirit Saga giveaway. Gonna have to figure that out, but man, I'm looking forward to the Gundams in this set. So yeah, you guys have a great day. Thanks for stopping by. Later.